What is up, my creepy cronies? Welcome back to the show. As always, am your creepy commentator, the Crow-lector. And today, we're doing another Crow-lector classics and taking a look at the SOTA Toys Mummy Returns Imhotep. Y'all remember SOTA Toys? Another tragic loss of the early 2000s toy boom. There's so much coming out, especially in terms of higher end movie collectibles. The licenses were spread pretty thin, and unfortunately, not all of the companies made it. SOTA Toys had their answer to NECA's cult classics, McFarlane's Movie Maniacs, basically higher end collector's figures based on some popular movies at the time. And they gave us what is, I think, to date, really our only kind of higher end collector's Imhotep figure. There were a handful of figures made for the original 1999 Brendan Fraser Mummy movie, even less made for the Mummy Returns, and then nothing from there. Which honestly is pretty surprising. I'm always so surprised that we never got more of a toy line from those Mummy movies, especially considering how popular they are. But luckily, we did get old beef jerky head here, which we are taking a look at today. We'll go ahead and do our lovely little turnaround, take a good look at all the really gross, gruesome detail on this guy. Obviously, we've come such a long way with figures in terms of sculpting, especially in articulation. But there is something magical about these early 2000s figures, I gotta say. The sculpting on a lot of these guys, whether from SOTA Toys, NECA, McFarlane, was really top notch. The paint was most of the time very clean. They came with unique accessories and scene-specific bases. I really do love a good base. And I miss those days when we would get them with pretty much every higher end figure. On this guy, the NECA Pirates of the Caribbean lines, Movie Maniacs, things like that. Obviously, it takes up a little bit more space on the shelf, but I always thought it really helped envelop you even more in the world of the figure itself, which is always welcome in my book. Here, of course, we have that really cool, really creepy Egyptian temple base with all those scarabs pouring out of one of the holes, coming to gobble you right up. And each of these is individually painted. Some really nice, kind of shiny blue-black paint. No real slop or bleeding, even on the tiny little legs, which is nice to see. Turning it around as well, we have some details even on the back side of the base with those cool hieroglyphics there, weathered appropriately so you can tell what each one is. And this guy did come with a little accessory slash second figure, which is the little pygmy mummy here. The pygmies, of course, being a secondary threat slash little minion to Imhotep in The Mummy Returns. And this guy is sculpted pretty gnarly, if that's a term. If not, I'm gonna coin it today because this is a gnarlily sculpted figure. You get the face sculpted in a weird, spooky kind of battle cry. A little crown of, I think these are little leaves. Don't know how well you can see it on here, but they are painted a different shade as well. He's sort of like a grayish white, whereas these are kind of like a dark green with a wash to them. This spear is a separate piece as well. You can slide it out if you want, and he's sort of just like, you know, dancing at the club. Mommy. But of course, he is definitely made to hold it. And he looks a lot more intimidating with this spear. He does have a few little points of articulation as well, just little swivels on both of his arms here. His head can turn left and right as well. Nothing below the waist, that's okay though. Has his little loincloth here as well. He is, of course, a very skinny legend. And I do like the look of this guy. Obviously, Imhotep comes more from like the dry desert, whereas these guys came from the more jungly parts. So they do have almost that like tree look to them, like they're coming out of the woodwork, literally and figuratively, of course. And again, it just goes to show that the craftsmanship back then, they put just as much effort into this secondary character as they did with the main man himself. It does come with two little foothold pegs. One of them is broken off in the foot. I got this guy pre-owned, so he was pre-loved before I got to him. But that's okay, because we still have one peg that he can peg into on the back, kind of perch him up on the rocks there, looking mean, ready to do his master's bidding. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Imhotep, looking all kinds of hungry. He as well is a skinny legend, but he is very, very hangry. And the sculpting and paintwork on this guy is just beautiful. Every little bit of him is sculpted just as you want it to be. He has that seam at the top of his head where his skull was probably cut open, his brain removed. And you can see into his skull there. There is actually, I don't know how well you can see it, but a little sculpted brain in there as well. Truly outstanding. And I love the little bits like here on his chest where you can see through all the way. He's got a couple of those sprinkled throughout. Man, Imhotep, look at you. Wasting away on that Ozempic. Eat a biscuit, for God's sake. But the rest of him, too. I really love that they managed to capture that sort of weird, creepy, in-between look. Nothing against Arnold Vosloo, of course. He's a very handsome guy, but there's something about that in-between mummy where he's not freshly awoken. He's just kind of in between. He's bulking up. He's gathering his strength. Just starting to look.
Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy.
Creepy and human. They have little bits of like the dried beef jerky flesh up here, all of which is sculpted and painted to stand out. None of it really bleeds together. Then you come down here to his wrappings a bit, and this is where you get more into like the flesh and sinew, which is also sculpted really, really nicely. You can see the little tendons and muscles in his legs with those little bits of torn and jagged fabric around him, just little tattered remnants. And for being sculpted cloth, essentially, does a very good job. Nothing's hanging free, there's no soft goods or anything like that. But you can still tell what it's supposed to be. Again, because the paint is so clean and crisp, it doesn't bleed over onto any of the muscle. So you can easily tell. Get some extra little gold paint on his crotch scarab there. The one place I would not want a scarab eaten away at, but you do you, Imhotep. And just so, so cool. Again, I know I keep mentioning it, but the red wash on his reverse decaying organs, I guess you'd say. I don't know the term. They're juicifying back up. We'll go with that. In terms of articulation, he fares very similarly to the pygmy, but a little bit more. You do get glorified ball joints on his head, basically just side to side. He does have a ball joint on his shoulders, but he's definitely looks most natural in that kind of come at me, bro look. His has kind of like a swivel at the elbows as well. He does have a torso cut, so he can it's getting his stretches in after thousands of years. Nothing on the legs or anything, but again, for stabilization, I think that's probably best. But he also does have some little ankle pivots as well. For what it is, pretty good. And of course, his little foot pegs here, going through the big old pegs. That's another little fun thing about these bases, is that they tell you very clearly where to put the things. You can see his feet in the sand there. And all together, it makes one really cool, really gnarly display. You can pose him however you want, kind of reaching out at you, with the pygmy coming up behind. Even without the little pygmy mummy, he does look just so cool and threatening on his own. I would not want to run into him in a dark alley, that is for sure. But really, for what this guy is, which is just a really cool display piece, it has so much character to it. It really does make me miss a lot of these early figures. In a lot of ways, we get even better figures than this nowadays from NECA and the like, with the Ultimates, things like that. But there is just something about this, because so much thought went into the whole presentation. The pose of Imhotep, his facial expression, all the little bits of flesh, what kind of state he was going to be in, the pygmy, the scarabs, the hieroglyphics. Everything about this was designed so that it would tell a story. So there was definite intent behind all of this. Look, even this, another little see-through area. So cool. This is a piece that I've had my eye on, honestly, for quite a while, and I was able to get at a pretty good price a couple months ago. I treated myself to it, and now it has a nice, loving home. I really do hope that now that a new Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser comes out, we will get some new Mummy figures, whether from the old movies, the new ones, both, because they really are such fun movies that are so deserving of a good toy line. This time, of course, we need Rick, Evie, Imhotep, Jonathan, Ardeth Bay. Definitely need some cool Mummy army builders. I really hope a good company, maybe, I don't know, NECA, McFarlane Toys, whoever, gives us a good Mummy line in the next couple years. But yeah, that'll about do it for this one. Let me know what you think of the SOTA Toys Imhotep from the Mummy Returns down below. Let me know your thoughts on the Mummy movies as well, and what you hope to see out of the new forthcoming fourth, or in my mind, third, because we don't talk about the third Mummy movie. Mummy movie. What would you like to see? Where would you like to see it take place? What kind of threat? Do you want to see Imhotep again, or would you like something different? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really do appreciate it. I will be back soon with more Creepy Crow-lection content, but in the meantime, don't forget, stay spooky and don't read from the book.